Hey everyone, welcome back to another dividend investing video. As we get into the month of October and sadly are nearing the holiday season, leaving this warm weather behind us, let's start preparing for the winter and for our finances. If you're one of those people who get a sweet bonus or an extra paycheck during the holiday season, especially around Christmas, the best thing you can do is invest it, and if you invest into dividend stocks, you'll only be getting paid more dollars. What's a better way than to put your extra money to use so that you have extra money that generates you even more extra money? It's pretty amazing what dividend investing can do, especially in the long run. But if you aren't quite sure how to get started, today I'm going to show you. What we're going to be doing is going over a dividend growth portfolio for beginners. If you have any chunk of cash sitting around in 2023, I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm Caden, and this is Wiser Dividends. Thank you for joining me today. If you would do me a favor and please smash the like button and subscribe to keep up with all future videos. This just helps me know if the content I'm making is stuff that people like and enjoy and would like to see much more of. So let's say you have a little bit of money, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and maybe even $5,000 or more. But if you don't know what to do with that money, what's the use? Today, I'm going to show you how to invest that and start your own dividend portfolio in 2023. I know people would just say, oh, invest it into ETFs like Vanguards or into SCHD or a total market ETF. But maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to invest in stocks, especially stocks that pay more money than the S&P 500's dividend yield is and would potentially give you even more gains than the S&P 500 will. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a overall well-rounded portfolio. The stocks I'll be looking for today will be those with continual track records for dividend raises and stability for the future. This perfect time frame to look for within this portfolio will be for the 10 to 20 year time frame. Of course, another thing we're going to be looking for is stocks with little risks. We don't want to be YOLOing all of our money into super risky, aggressive stocks that may not even be around 20 years from now. And especially when we're starting out, this is a horrible strategy to do. So what we're going to do is just stick with the same consistent, stable stocks that have been a staple in numerous investors' portfolios, including those who you may hear about the most or those who you may look up to the most. Before I get into these stocks, what we're going to be doing is going over each of them, all 10, and we're going to be putting them in a chart, as we can see, and then we're going to be putting $100 into each of them. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go and show you in a portfolio how it all looks and then the dividend income you will be receiving. Our first stock we're going to be looking for is a mega tech stock. These companies will either be Apple, ticker AAPL, or Microsoft, ticker MSFT. These are some of the largest companies in the world and both pay out a small dividend, but it consistently grows every single year. Recently, Microsoft just grew their dividend over 10%. Imagine a 10% increase from your job. This is exactly what it feels like when you invest in these dividend paying companies. Next stock I'm going to be going over is in the healthcare sector. This stock is Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol J&J. This will be a foundational stock that is going to be in this portfolio. They've been growing their dividend for 62 years and have become a staple in countless investors' portfolios. Another stock we'll be adding in this portfolio will be Pepsi, ticker symbol PEP, or Coke, ticker symbol KO. These companies are extremely reliable dividend payers and have been around for countless decades. Coke has been raising their dividends for over 59 years, and Pepsi's been raising its dividends for over 34 years. Next, we'll be going into the retail space. We'll be looking at buying either Kroger, Target, or Costco. The best companies to look for are those that you use regularly and on a consistent basis. And these companies are a perfect example of those companies that people use on a daily basis or a weekly basis. They've been around for numerous decades and won't ever be going away for the foreseeable future. It's these types of companies that we want to prioritize in our investment portfolios and try and make our largest positions. Another great perk about these retail companies is no matter how the economy is doing, whether we're in one of the best economic time periods or one of the worst, people will still need to get groceries and household necessities. And what companies are they going to go to? It's going to be these like Kroger, Target, Costco, or Walmart. Next up, we'll be looking at the home improvement sector. We have two fantastic companies. These are Home Depot, ticker symbol HD, and Lowe's, ticker symbol LOW. These companies are fantastic when it comes to their dividend growth and their payout ratios. They have very large 5 year dividend growth rates, and Lowe's is one of the longest paying dividend companies in the world. They've been paying out dividends for almost 60 years, while Home Depot has been paying them out for 13, but they've both been consistently increasing them by over 15% for the last 15 years. For our sixth pick, we'll be looking at the industrial sector. We have two great companies. The first, which is Union Pacific, ticker symbol UNP, and Waste Management, ticker symbol WM. These are both high quality companies in this sector and have almost no chance of ever filing for bankruptcy or decreasing the size of their business because of the stability they have and the tight grip they own in the markets that they are in. They're both great companies for dividend growth, but I like one of these more, and that's Union Pacific. They own almost all the rail lines from Chicago all the way to the end of the West Coast. And on top of it, they're partnered with a duopoly with Berkshire Hathaway, owned and CEO by Warren Buffett. So they have a massive grip on the market. Both waste management, it's almost impossible to never see them not be around because everyone needs their garbage to be stored and taken away. And luckily, they're both great dividend paying companies. For our next company, we'll be looking at the financial sector. We have two of the largest banks in the United States, which is JP Morgan, ticker symbol JMP, and Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC. If you want to go with international exposure, you do have access to Toronto Dominion, ticker symbol TD, and Nova Scotia Bank, which is ticker symbol BNS. But these are only for international use, only for international. And the issue with those is they do pay out much, much larger dividends, but you have to deal with Canadian tax implications. And if you're an American investor, that can be an issue. For our eighth pick, we'll be looking at the massive, massive sector of semiconductors. Two of these fantastic stocks that I personally hold in my portfolio and make one of them one of the largest in my entire portfolio is Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, and Texas Instrument, ticker symbol TXN. Broadcom over the last 5 years has increased their dividend by a rate of 21%, while Texas Instrument has increased it by 14%. For our ninth pick, we have the telecommunication sector. We have a few different stocks in this. The first one being AT&T, ticker symbol T, and Verizon, ticker symbol BZ. And then lastly, American Tower Corporation, ticker symbol AMT. While AT&T and Verizon have dropped a lot in recent times, they're still great companies at fantastic prices and they pay phenomenal dividends. What I like the most though about American Tower Corporation is that they own almost all the communication towers that these companies have to pay on a daily basis to them for. So American Tower Corporation is getting daily dividends from all these different massive cellular communication companies. Lastly, we have the real estate sector. And we'll be going with the super famous and most well known real estate company, which is Realty Income, the monthly dividend payer, ticker symbol O. And the new kid on the block coming in 2017, Beachy Properties, ticker symbol BICI. Most serious dividend investors have some exposure to these high paying dividend companies, with the most holding Realty Income, especially if you're a monthly dividend investor. You almost always have a holding in Realty Income, and imagine getting paid out every single month. Realty Income has been growing their dividends consistently for the last 104 consecutive quarters. Imagine getting a raise 104 times. That that's unheard of. By investing in a company such as Realty Income, that's exactly what you'll be experiencing. The main players that are going to be in the energy sector are going to be ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM, and Chevron, ticker symbol CVX. They have fantastic dividends and a great business model. And if you've read the news lately or gone to the gas station, you've most certainly seen that gas prices have been up and they've been expensive, at least for the foreseeable future. These oil companies are going to be seeing massive profits, and in turn, they're going to be paying out their shareholders massive dividends, including maybe a few special dividends. But overall, whatever companies you invest in this list, all it matters is that you're getting started. As they say, timing the market is better than timing the market. Here's our portfolio spreadsheet. If you would like this portfolio spreadsheet, it will be on my Patreon, which is at Wiser Dividends. That will be just another way to support this channel. If you would like to support me further and like the content that I'm posting, then that's the best way to support me, along with a follow and a like, or maybe even a subscribe. What we're looking at here is each of the 10 stocks that I went over. As you can see, there's $100 in each of them. Roughly, the portfolio value is roughly $1,000. And then we can just see the purchase price for each of them, how many shares you'll be getting, the cost, the price, the market value, the gain, the growth, the 1 year trend of each of these stocks, and then our dividends, along with our dividend yield on cost, and the income that will be expected to get. When we look over here, we can see that with $100, we'll get 88 cents from Microsoft, which will be one of the lowest paying, along with Costco at 70 cents. And then if we go all the way to down to the bottom, we can see that Verizon will pay us $8.52, and Realty Income will pay us $6.09. When we look up here on our first graph, we can see that most of these are relatively flat when it comes to the amount payment, which is only going to be around $2 to $3. And then we have a couple stocks that are much higher, and then a couple that are much lower. When we look at our portfolio breakdown, we can see that it's mainly into Verizon with shares, and then we mainly have O or Realty Income shares, and then all these other shares are much less. Our cost to market value is just the same right now, and then our portfolio value is roughly $1,000. You can put your cash in, and then we have our expected yearly dividend income at $32.61. Then we have our monthly dividend income at $2.72 for a dividend yield of 3.26% with this portfolio. Now, if you increased it to $10,000, what you'd be experiencing is $27.72 or $27.20 per month in dividend income, which is it's a good start of money to start off with when it comes to dividend investing. When it comes to dividend investing, what you hold in your portfolio and what you like is no 100% right or 100% wrong. It's just whatever you like the most and whatever you think could have the greatest gains and largest profitability, especially in the long term. Thank you all for watching. There'll be a lot more to come for in the future. I'm continuously working every single day as hard as I can to try and pump out as much content and ideas for more videos in the future. If you'd like to see more of what's going on and then some of the behind the scenes stuff that happens, follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter account at Wiser Dividends. Those will also be in the description below. And I'll be posting a lot more on there since it's all shorter content. My Patreon is also at Wiser Dividends once more, and I'll be adding a lot more things, such as this spreadsheet on there, if you would like to help support me and get some of the content and other things that I'll be posting. Thank you all for listening and stay invested. Remember, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Your dividends can grow and snowball into massive amounts just if you give it time and if you keep on putting money into it. Thank you all. I'm Caden, and this is Wiser Dividends.